Hello everybody, it's Stalk2744 here today to just kind of have a little talk about video casually of a recent bit of tech news that is basically directed towards AT&T and the new feature coming alongside of iOS 6 that was announced at WWDC 2012, that is FaceTime over Cellular, which actually got a lot of people surprised and really excited for because of the fact that, you know, FaceTime over Cellular should have been available, I'm going to say this honestly, a couple years back, but it hasn't. So it's just now approaching in iOS 6, and a lot of people got excited for FaceTime over Cellular. But then rumors started to come up saying that AT&T might charge you for FaceTime over Cellular, and that kind of got a lot of AT&T customers kind of disappointed, including myself. You know, you might be saying a lot of people don't use FaceTime. I use FaceTime occasionally. I don't use it all the time, but I would like to be able to have the ability to use it on Cellular without having to pay extra. Now you might be saying, why would they make you pay extra for this? Well, because cellular companies, they're a company, they're looking to get money. Obviously, that's the company's main goal, no matter what. Usually, you know, it's not an organization, it's a company. They're trying to make money. And you know, they're struggling at this time because of data usage. That's why, you know, they're getting rid of unlimited data plans and stuff like that, and they're restricting that because a lot of people are using it as a hotspot to their other devices, and they're using up data like crazy. So they're getting rid of unlimited data plans. They're starting to go down to these tiered data plans, and then they're starting to charge for hotspots. If you want to use your phone as a hotspot with your 2 gigabytes of data because you can't get unlimited data, you know, they charge you for that too. And it's kind of ridiculous. You know, it's just a company, like I said, trying to make money. And AT&T might put a move on this to make money. So after all these rumors, AT&T came out and they said, quote unquote, we're working closely with Apple on the developer build of iOS 6, and we'll share more information with our customers as it becomes available. Now, like I said, you know, it's a little too early to tell something official because it is in beta. iOS 6 is in beta. That's why when people saw issues, like I saw videos of people just ratting out every single issue in iOS 6 beta, the first beta release. You have to understand that it's a beta. It's still in testing. It's not the release version. Maybe when the release version comes out, you can make a video about the little issues that show up in the release version, if there are any that you can find. Usually they're the tiniest things. You know, not everything's flawless, but anyway, you really can't complain about a beta, and there's not a lot of information they could release because iOS 6 is obviously still in beta, and the feature here with FaceTime over Cellular is a part of iOS 6 coming devices later on this year around the fall range, possibly in October, with, by the way, possibly a release of a new iPhone and possibly even a miniature iPad. We don't know about that for sure. And then shortly after that quote, the CEO, I think it's Randall Stevenson, I believe that's how you say it. I don't have any notes here. I'm just pulling stuff off the top of my head. Quote unquote, he said, I've heard the same rumor. He said, interesting that now AT&T is focused on working with Apple to get the technology stabilized. So it's too early to talk about the pricing. Pricing of what? FaceTime over Cellular. So I do think definitely AT&T does consider, you know, charging extra for FaceTime over Cellular if you want to have that feature, which kind of sucks. But, you know, really the way you have to look at it is that customers are being, they're getting angry at this. They don't like that they're going to be charged for FaceTime over Cellular, especially after they were told about the awesome new feature coming to iOS 6. You know, you get all excited about it, and then you hear that you're going to have to pay, you know, it might be like $10 a month to have FaceTime over Cellular, and it's kind of ridiculous, or whatever the pricing may be. And this is obviously making iPhone AT&T customers unhappy. It's making me unhappy. It's making me want to switch to Sprint. The reason why I'm saying that is because Sprint actually came out, and just so none of the rumors would be crushed on Sprint, they came out and said specifically, we will not charge you for FaceTime over Cellular. And the reason why they're doing that is because it's going to keep their customers from thinking that, what if Sprint does this? If Sprint does this, does that mean I have to go to Verizon? Then again, what if Verizon does it? What if everybody's going to do it? You know, that would just kind of suck. So if you're really a FaceTime user, you might switch carriers. You know, I've been pushed over the edge with AT&T with data plans and stuff like that. It's ridiculous. I want to go to Sprint. I have so much motive to go to Sprint, and if they're going to charge for FaceTime, I have even more motive to go to Sprint, especially since Sprint actually came out and said, we will not charge you quite yet. Obviously, they just said for now, we're not going to consider charging you for FaceTime. That could change, but they said they're not going to, and the reason why they did that is because it's keeping their customers at ease from thinking that they're going to have to switch carriers, because they would really want to use FaceTime over Cellular. If you're a heavy FaceTime user, that's something you would probably definitely consider, and that's something that is even, like I said, pushing me over the edge to go over to Sprint and get off of AT&T. If AT&T had no plans to charge you for Cellular FaceTime, they would have said, before they said these two quotes, they really didn't answer yes or no. They would have said for sure that they're not going to charge you for FaceTime over Cellular if they had no plans to do so.